Here is a sentence you were taught, and it is backwards. The engineer works for the capitalist, the owner on top, the technician below. Now watch what happens when you turn it over. The standard picture has three classes. At the top, the people who own the means of production. At the bottom, the workers, who own nothing but their labor and sell it. And in the middle, the awkward layer, engineers and technicians, skilled help who serve the owners. In that picture, the engineer is a tool, money on top, reaching down, buying technique. So let us check the direction of that arrow. Go back to the Industrial Revolution and ask one question. Who built the machines, and who ended up owning them? Because if it is the same person, the diagram is a lie. Richard Arkwright designed the water frame, built the mill at Cromford, and died one of the richest self-made men in England. The machine came first, his design, and the fortune was only what it left behind. James Watt built the engine that powered everyone else's factory, and the firm he founded did not merely use the means of production, it sold them. Wedgwood engineered a process and owned the output. The Stephensons and Brunel commanded the railways, the largest capital projects of the century, as the men whose designs the money existed to realize. Same shape every time. Technical mastery turns into ownership, with no capitalist in the middle. Now the obvious objection. Most engineers were not rich owners. Most were salaried, working for firms they did not own. So here is the precise claim. It is not that every engineer is a capitalist. It is the engineer at the point of command, the one whose design brings the means of production into being. The salaried engineer is not a counterexample. He does the capitalist's job and takes a wage for it. Capitalist function, workers return. Everything from here hangs on one idea, and I will tell you plainly that it is load-bearing. To command the means of production, to direct their design, their deployment, their disposal, is to hold the capitalist position, whether or not your name is on the deed. Control, not paperwork. And I did not invent this. Burnham, the class that controls is the ruling class, not the class that legally owns. Gilas, a communist insider, watched the party bureaucracy become a new owning class. Tony Cliff called the party state what it was, capitalism with the state as the boss. My only addition is to name which class does the commanding. Engineers. China, the Reform era, the largest build-out of factories, roads, grids and cities in the history of the species. Who ran it? Not lawyers, not economists, not ideologues, engineers, and mostly engineers from one school. Tsinghua. Jiang Zemin, electrical engineer. Li Peng, hydroelectric, trained in Moscow. Hu Jintao, hydraulic engineering, Tsinghua. Zhu Rongji and Wu Bangguo, Tsinghua engineers. Xi Jinping's own degree, chemical engineering, Tsinghua. For 2 decades the Politburo Standing Committee was a room full of engineers directing the economy. Scholars now call it the engineering state. So run it through. The engineer is the capitalist position. To command the means of production is to hold that position. The party's top layer was an engineering class commanding the means of production. Therefore that layer was a bourgeoisie constituted inside the party, wearing the state as its title deed. That is the failure. The party did not abolish the capitalist class. It recruited that class from the one profession that is the capitalist class, and handed it the state. Let me show you the weak points myself. 1. That bridge, control equals ownership, carries the entire China claim. Insist that capitalist means legal title and nothing else, and the Manchester argument survives but Beijing does not. 2. Someone will say engineers are just the managerial middle serving whoever owns. The answer is that the founding engineer is not serving an owner. He is the owner's origin. 3. And this one is on me. The two cases are not independent proofs. They stand on the same bridge. If it breaks, both fall together. So, in 2 sentences, the Industrial Revolution shows the engineer as the author of capital, not its servant. And the great communist state of the 20th century, by handing power to its engineers, quietly rehired the class it was built to destroy. A machine cannot abolish the men who build machines by putting them in charge. That was never abolition. It was a promotion.